Welcome back to the deep dive. We grab your sack of sources and plunge into the details to pull out the insights that matter most to you. Today, we're grappling with something that feels like, well, a pretty significant step into the future of how we use the internet.
That's right. We've been looking at articles and reports surrounding a major announcement from Opera, the browser company. They've just unveiled a new browser they're calling Opera Neon, and their big claim, it's the first AI agentic browser.
Agentic. Okay, that word feels like it's doing a lot of heavy lifting there. So, based on the material you've shared, what's our mission for this deep dive? What are we hoping to figure out for our listener?
Well, our mission is really to cut through the buzz. We want to understand what AI agentic actually means in the context of a web browser. And, look closely at the specific capabilities Opera is highlighting for Neon, what it actually does for you. Then place this announcement within the broader landscape of AI developments in web tech, and also critically explore the potential upsides and the important questions and limitations the sources point to.
Okay, let's unpack this idea then. An agentic browser. What's the fundamental concept Opera is putting forward with Neon? What makes it different from the browser you're using right now?
At its core, Opera is positioning Neon as a reimagining of the browser for an era they're calling the AI agentic web. The big idea, announced May 28, 2025, is that Neon isn't just a window to look at the internet.
Great.
It's designed to actively understand your intentions and perform complex tasks for you. It aims to take your ideas and needs and actually execute them on the web.
So, like, instead of me clicking through 5 different sites to book a trip, the browser itself could potentially handle that whole process.
Precisely, yeah. The sources use phrases like having agentic AI browsing capabilities that translate user intent directly into action.
Huh.
The claim is it's fully agentic, meaning it can carry out sequences of actions on its own without you needing to click every single step along the way.
Wow, that sounds pretty advanced. Is this something you can just download and start using today?
Oh. Not yet. The information we have says it's currently accessible only through a wait list. And importantly, when it does roll out more broadly, it's slated to be a premium subscription product.
Ah, okay. Premium.
Yeah, and the sources don't mention specific pricing details yet. We'll have to wait and see on that.
Here's where it gets really interesting for me. How do you actually interact with this agent? The articles mention specific functions. What are the core ways users will tell Neon what they want it to do?
So Opera presents the main interaction points as 3 distinct functions or buttons. They're located in the sidebar of the browser. Chat, do, and make.
Chat, do, make. Okay.
Yeah, you can think of these as the different modes of agency, basically.
Let's start with chat. We've seen AI chats integrated into browsers already, right? Like Opera's own area. Is Neon's chat function similar to that?
Yes, pretty much. The sources describe the chat function as a deeply integrated AI agent, native to the browser. It builds on Opera's existing AI framework, utilizing large language models from providers like OpenAI and Google. Its capabilities sound very similar to Aria. You can use it to search the web, ask questions, get summaries, find contextual info about the page you're on, write text, even generate images. It's sort of the conversational interface.
Okay, so chat is the familiar conversational access point. Got it. But do and make, those sound like the real departure here. Let's talk about do. That feels much more action-oriented.
Totally. The do function is where the automation really kicks in for, routine tasks. It leverages an AI agent that Opera had previously demonstrated under the name Browser Operator. This agent is designed to automate sequences of actions you typically perform manually on websites.
Like what specifically? Can you give some examples from the sources? What kind of tasks are we talking about?
Absolutely. The examples provided include things like automating filling out web forms.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Yeah, right. The process of making hotel bookings, handling aspects of online shopping, planning elements of trips, and booking tickets for events or accommodation. Essentially, tasks that involve navigating multiple pages and interacting with different web elements.
And how does it actually achieve that? Is it just watching your screen like some macro tools do? Or is it smarter?
No, and this is a really key technical detail they highlight in the sources. Opera states that the do agent doesn't analyze pixels on your screen or simulate a virtual pointer.
Okay.
Instead, it operates by understanding the underlying structure of the web page itself, specifically using the document object model, or DOM tree, and associated layout data.
Ah, the DOM tree.
Yeah, which is generally considered a more robust and reliable way for an automated agent to interact with a page rather than just looking at the visual layer.
Okay, understanding the page structure rather than just seeing the visuals. That makes sense for reliability. And you
Yeah.
mentioned something crucial about privacy here earlier.
Yes, exactly. And this is a big claim for the do function. Opera emphasizes that these automated tasks are performed locally within the browser.
Locally. Okay.
The intent, they say, is to preserve users' privacy and security by keeping the processing of these routine actions right there on your own device.
Local processing for routine tasks, got it. That seems important. Now, the third function, make. This one sounds like it's focused on creation. What can this agent make?
Right, the make feature is presented as more of a creative engine. It's an AI agent capable of taking a user's textual description of what they want to create and then, well, generating it.
What kinds of things are we talking about here? Building websites, maybe? Or something else?
Exactly that kind of thing.
Hmm.
The sources say from simple text prompts, it can generate code snippets, draft reports, design and build websites, and even design games.
Wow.
Yeah, it aims to turn natural language ideas into functional digital outputs.
Okay, that's impressive. And does this also happen locally, like the do function?
No, actually, and this is a really significant difference mentioned in the sources.
Ah.
The make function utilizes AI agents that operate beyond the browser environment. They run in a virtual machine hosted in the cloud.
In the cloud. Gotcha.
And a notable claim here is that these cloud-based agents can continue working on your creation even after you've gone offline.
Really? So it keeps working in the background.
Apparently so. It's also described as handling true agentic multitasking, meaning you could ask it to generate multiple different things simultaneously.
So just to recap, chat is the interface, do automates routine tasks locally on your machine, and make creates new things using cloud power even when you're offline. That split between local do and cloud make feels like a really interesting design choice.
It really does. It has potential implications for performance, privacy, capability. Lots to consider there.
Okay, let's zoom out for a moment then. How does Opera Neon fit into the broader trends happening right now in web development and AI? What's the context here?
Well, our sources discussing general AI trends in web development for 2025 paint a pretty clear picture. AI integration is becoming increasingly central. It's not just a bolt-on anymore. These trends include things like automated code generation, creating more personalized user experiences, and leveraging AI for development tasks like, say, debugging and content creation.
Right.
Neon's Make feature, with its ability to generate websites and code from prompts, directly aligns with that automated creation trend. And the Do feature, automating tasks like shopping or booking, could certainly feed into more personalized online experiences by performing actions tailored specifically to the user's needs and instructions.
And it sounds like this isn't just theoretical, right? AI is already being used in web dev tools that people use today.
Oh, absolutely. One source we looked at notes that a significant percentage, something like 45% of businesses, have already integrated AI into their web development workflows. And that number is projected to grow.
45%?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. We already see tools out there like GitHub Copilot assisting with code,
Yeah.
Wix ADI helping build websites, Figma AI aiding in design. So the idea of AI assisting with web tasks is definitely already here. Neon seems to be pushing it further right into the browser itself and towards that full user intent execution.
Given this context, is Opera the only company talking about an agentic browser like this? Are others exploring similar ideas, or are they out front alone?
The sources make it pretty clear Opera isn't operating in a vacuum here. They might be claiming to be the first AI agentic browser, using that specific term.
Right.
But other players are definitely exploring this space. The browser company, for example, has hinted at AI features focused on automating tasks within their Arc browser. And Google is reportedly developing AI agents intended for search results and handling tasks directly within their browser environment as well.
So competition is heating up in this area.
It seems so. While Opera might be leading with this specific agentic label and this particular feature set, chat, do, make, the general move towards browsers doing more for you, powered by AI, definitely looks like a new competitive frontier.
It certainly sounds like a potentially massive shift in how we interact with the web. But, as with any powerful new technology, especially AI, it inevitably raises important questions and potential challenges. What do the sources tell us about the downsides or things we need to be mindful of here?
That's a crucial point, yeah. Well, the sources definitely highlight benefits like automation, efficiency, maybe enhanced user experience. They also candidly discuss significant challenges and limitations. Some of these are inherent to AI itself, and they're definitely relevant when you talk about giving an AI agent this much control in your browser.
What are some of the main concerns that were raised?
Well, data privacy and security is a big one, maybe the biggest. AI needs data to function, right?
Mm.
And having an agent performing tasks like booking hotels or creating documents inevitably involves handling user information, potentially sensitive information. Now, Opera highlights the local processing for do tasks, which is good.
Right. They mentioned that.
And their existing AI engine, Aria, apparently uses anonymization where possible. But the make function running in cloud VMs presents a different privacy profile altogether. The sources also touch on the general risk of AI systems having vulnerabilities that, malicious actors could exploit, and just the overarching issue of user trust. How much do you trust an AI with your data when it's acting on your behalf?
Yeah, that's a big one.
And interestingly, the FAQ for Opera's underlying AI tech area even includes a note advising caution. It basically says, avoid using AI features on sensitive sites like your banking platform or medical portals.
So even the company is saying, be careful where you use this.
Seems like it, yeah. It acknowledges limitations.
So even with efforts like local processing for some parts, the complexity means privacy isn't a simple yes or no answer. It depends on what you're doing. What else did the sources point to as concerns?
Another concern that always comes up with increasing automation is the risk of over-reliance.
Ah, yeah. Descaling, maybe?
Potentially. As these AI tools become more capable, there's a potential for users, or even developers using the Make feature, to over-depend on them. This could potentially lead to a decrease in human skills over time, or maybe just a reduction in the critical oversight needed to catch errors, because AI systems can and do make mistakes, right? They misinterpret inputs sometimes. And if humans aren't actively checking or maintaining their own understanding, those errors could slip through.
And related to that, the output itself, can we blindly trust what the AI makes or finds for us?
Well, the sources are quite clear on the limitations regarding accuracy. AI models, like the ones powering these features, can generate false, misleading, or just plain inaccurate information.
The hallucination problem.
Exactly, the hallucination phenomenon. The AI presents generated content as fact, even when it's not grounded in reality. They also acknowledge that AI can generate biased or harmful content simply because it reflects the biases present in the massive data sets they were trained on. So the explicit advice given consistently is to double-check any information provided by the AI with other reliable sources. Don't just take its word for it.
That's a really critical point, especially if you're asking it to make code for you or draft a sensitive report. You absolutely can't just copy and paste without verifying.
Exactly right. And the sources also touch on limitations in terms of true creativity.
Oh, how so?
Well, AI generates based on patterns in its training data. It can create novel combinations, sure, but it may lack genuine innovation or that spark of uniqueness compared to human creativity. There's a risk that relying too heavily on AI templates, for example, could just lead to generic or uninspired outputs. Everything starts looking the same.
That's a fair point. And finally, the cost aspect you mentioned earlier. It's a premium product.
Right. The sources note that adopting sophisticated AI technology generally involves high initial costs, which can be a barrier for smaller businesses or individual users. And specifically for Neon, the fact that it's positioned as a premium subscription product means access comes with a direct financial cost to you, the user. That's obviously a limitation compared to free browser alternatives.
And someone put a reality check on this, too.
Yeah, one source added that perspective, basically tempering the excitement by noting that AI features often sound more impressive in the announcement than they turn out to be in widespread practical use. And also reminding us that the competitive landscape, with Google and others working on similar things, means Opera's claims will definitely be tested against what others develop.
Okay, so this deep dive into Opera Neon really gives us a concrete example of where browser technology seems to be headed. Looking ahead, what could this really mean for how we interact with the internet day to day? What's the potential impact?
It strongly suggests a future where the browser isn't just a passive tool for viewing pages, but much more of a proactive agent working on your behalf. You can imagine less manual clicking and navigating through websites, and more just expressing your intent directly to the browser.
Like, book me a flight to Paris next month, or find me research papers on topic X and summarize the key findings.
Exactly. Or build me a simple website for my side project. That kind of interaction. It points towards a shift from you browsing the web to having an AI utilize the web to achieve goals for you. And potentially, as we discussed with the Make Features Cloud component, even handling certain tasks while you're offline.
And maybe making creation easier, too.
Yeah, it also hints at that potential to democratize creation somewhat, making it easier perhaps for people without deep technical skills to make complex digital assets, like websites or code snippets, just using natural language prompts.
It definitely highlights how the role of AI is rapidly expanding beyond just, generating text in a chatbot or making images in isolation.
Indeed. This move integrates it really deeply into our primary tool for accessing the internet. It raises fascinating possibilities about convenience and efficiency for sure, but it also absolutely underscores the continued importance of critically evaluating AI output, being really mindful of the privacy trade-offs as these agentic systems become more capable and integrated into our lives.
This glimpse into Opera Neon is, well, it's a powerful illustration of one potential future for web interaction. The capabilities they're describing for do and make really suggest a significant leap towards browsers acting as true personal agents, not just windows.
It definitely feels like we're moving from a more passive browsing experience to potentially a much more active one, where the browser is trying to anticipate needs and perform tasks for you. But as we've discussed, the real-world implementation is where we'll see the ongoing tension play out, the balance between the power of the AI, the need for privacy, the demand for accuracy, and, crucially, the necessary human oversight required as these technologies mature.
It leaves you with a really thought-provoking question, doesn't it? If your browser could truly understand your intent and act as your personal AI agent, handling complex tasks and creating things for you, how would that fundamentally change your relationship with the internet? What tasks would you eagerly delegate to it, and which ones would you still prefer to keep firmly under your own control, maybe because of trust or just preference?
It's a future that seems to be arriving pretty fast. Definitely something to ponder as you navigate the web today.